shine.
Let me see what you got here. Dude. Really? Wow. No, dude. We're not doing. No, we're not doing any of that. You know what? I knew we were going to have this problem, so I brought a little something. I was hanging out with Rachel a couple weeks ago, and I found this list. I thought it was funny. It's men's rules for women. And she's a woman, so I figured I'd let her read it. And she went through the list, and I was waiting for like a laugh or a snicker, and there were a few, but it wasn't as much. I mean, I thought it was funny, and it should have been at least a little funny. And once she finished it, I was like, so what'd you think? She's like, well, it's funny, yeah, but it really describes Andy. So I wanted to point out a few that I recognized, because I went back over and I was like, you know what, you're kind of right. If you think you're fat, you probably aren't, dude. Like, seriously, look at you, you're gonna stick. Whenever you say something, just say what you mean, bro. You don't need to beat around the bush and get to it. Like, we understand. It's alright. One of my personal favorites is men seeing only 16 colors, but we know Andy has seen way more colors than what actually exists. Have you seen some of his posters? Those things are psychedelic. You have enough clothes, bro, and you got way too many shoes.
Speaking of clothes.
Never enough. Never enough.
Andy and I shared a room our entire life. It's always been him and I. Like, he's been my main dude. And he would literally go through probably 3 to 4 outfits before school. I get up right before the bus gets there. I'm out the door. Yeah, Jeff says it's also Rachel. But even when he was young, he had real short hair, and he would make it flip. And he would have every strand. And it would take like 30 minutes, but now he's got long hair.
Yeah.
And you can imagine seeing him with some long hair. In the bathroom, he just nice and wet, and he'd walk out like this. Not a muscle in his neck moving, I'm telling you. The wind blows, nobody touches him for like the first 15 minutes. It's rough, but no, Andy, he's always been real. He's a visionary. Like he's always like when he sets his mind on something, like that's kind of the way it is. He'd go missing for like long periods of time, and we'd all wonder where he's at, and I'd go look for him, and he'd be upstairs in the room, and there'd be Beanie Babies. I'm talking all over the floor. So because we share a room, I think, okay, I'll just jump in and play. So I get on my knees, grab one, and be like, no, dude! You're messing it up! I'm like, what are you talking about? It'd be like the biggest version of like Beanie Baby Deathmatch. Like, dude's been dead for like 15 minutes, man! You can't get that guy here. I'm like, he's always just playing, like anything he does, anytime he's got a vision, like he's just good to go. Anyway. All in. He's all in.
Now the hair thing reminds me of one time we were at a concert when they were playing for Cornerstone, and I was in the back with the sound booth, and I'm sitting there working, and all of a sudden there's this glint in my eye. And I look at the drums, maybe it's the bass, no, mic stands aren't moving. I have no idea what it is. So I get back to work, and I'm looking, and there it is again. So I just start looking at it, and I realize it's Andy's hair. He's up there like rocking, and the light's reflecting off of this mane he's got flowing over his shoulders. I even went up to my mom. I was like, Mom, look at Andy's hair. It is gorgeous. It was amazing. You know. But what I really want to talk about is Andy and money. The poor kid is always broke. Ever since we've known him. I can remember before iPods were out, Andy comes home with this new iPod, back when they were as big as iPhones. He's like, dude, look what I got a friend of mine to give me. Like, who gives anybody an iPod? So, It's like, okay, you know, just go with it, you know. Then 2 weeks later, something, Mom backs over it, and it's like, oh, dude, that sucks. A week later, he comes in with another one. Yeah! I'm broke! And then, okay, so I was hanging out with them. It had to have been a couple years ago. We hit the mall. And personally, when I go into a mall, there's a price tag on something, I pay it. Not this kid. We went into the store, and there's this some band dude's poster, you know, I don't know, I don't keep up with it. And he walks in, he's like, I really want that, but it's $75. I'm like, well, you know, it's what it says, right? And Andy walks up and talks to the guy, and he's like, hey, dude, the frame, it's kind of broken, you know? The guy's like, dude, the sticker says $75. And he's like, all right. So he goes around, he looks at a few other things, he kind of walks back by the poster, looking at it, and then moves on, and the guy comes up like, okay, what about $50? And he's like, ooh, no, not $50. You know, he picks up a few more things, and we're in there for like another 15, 20 minutes, and he walks back by it, like looking at it, like really wanted, but, and so he starts heading for the door, and the guy comes up to him and is like, okay, dude, $25, it's as low as I can go. And who does that in a mall? Like, I can understand like a flea market or something, but the mall, seriously. And the last example I could think of while getting ready for this was, there's one time I was home, I broke my collarbone, I was in bed, and I heard Andy walking around the house like, dude, I'm broke. I need money, I need gas money. Like, does anybody help me out? Hey, Mom. And, you know, so whatever, it's Andy. You know, he's looking for money. And, like, so I'm all drugged up. I reach over to get a Kleenex to blow on my nose, and $300 pops out of the Kleenex box. Like, dude, broke. What? So I went up to him. I was like, dude, I thought you just said you were broke. He's like, oh, that's my emergency stash. And, I mean, you talk to anybody. You ask my mom. She goes up to Andy like, could you please cash your check so I can balance my checkbook? I mean, he's got 2 or 3 stacked up there. So, basically what I'm trying to say, Rachel, is if he ever tells you he's broke, make sure you check around in the bed, Kleenex boxes, make sure he's really broke before you believe him.
And on a serious note, this whole marriage thing, was, for the first year of it, it was a really hard thing on me. Because Andy, like I said, we shared a room our entire life.
Just kick you out.
No, yeah. He should have kicked me out a long time ago. No, it was really hard on me because, you know, Andy's my right-hand man, my partner in crime. He's just always been there for me. And then they got married and he had bigger and better things. And so I felt like I lost my little brother. But what I've really come to realize is that I've gained a sister. Not only have I gained a sister, like they're, you know, super stylistic, like, you know what I mean, intelligent. Like I couldn't ask for a better sister. You know what I mean? And I am blessed, and I do thank God, you know, that I got a brother and a sister now that love God and that want to honor God and have a relationship with God and grow in God. It's like the perfect couple. Look at them.
For me, it was a little different. I first got a phone call like, yo, dude, I'm dating this chick. And I didn't even register the name. Like, okay, great.
He's living in Texas.
Yeah, I was going to school in Texas. And so it's like, cool, you know, whatever. And then a couple months later, a little ways down the road, dude, I'm engaged. Who is this girl? Like, I had no idea. And so, you know, they start talking wedding stuff and like, when are you going to be home, this, that, and the other thing. So, I mean, I do what anybody does, get on Facebook. You know, I didn't even know what she looked like. So I pulled up some pictures and the two of them are standing there. You know, Andy's got his hair and she's got her hair. And it was perfect. And so, you know, then shortly after that, like, I get another phone call like, dude, we're married. I was like, are you serious? I missed it. Like, this is crazy. So, little, you know, it's months down the road or so. I come home and my whole family comes out to pick me up, except Andy couldn't because he's married and they had stuff and they couldn't quite make it out. So, Kevin and I were riding back and the plan was to show up and like just beat on his door like there's a fire. Like, I'm home, I'm finally done with school. and he ends up following me in. You know, like, oh, well, that just totally ruined the whole deal. But they get out, and it's like this awkward moment, like, so, you're my sister-in-law. Cool. Nice to meet you. But since then, we've got to hang out. We've argued over whether or not beans or meat is a proper protein substance. Or go and watch a movie and discuss the movie afterwards and try to figure out at what point Andy fell asleep. So she has become a sister. Hang out, we have a lot of fun together. She's a sweet girl. She looks gorgeous tonight. So with that, I'd like to all to raise your glasses, finally get to the toast. And we'd like to wish them a healthy, happy, blessed life together.
Yes.
Cheers.